Um, we heard earlier that there's a little bit of flexibility with schedule, that some of your work is in the middle college and then sometimes you go off and do different classes outside of that. How does that work? Tell us a little bit about your schedule, what it looks like.
Okay, my schedule, since I'm a sophomore, I have the opportunity to take more dual credit classes and just opportunities that the freshmen don't usually get, or even some of the juniors, since I'm a bit more ahead in middle college. I actually spend most of my day in middle college just doing some of the basic classes like English and science. But since I got so far ahead in science my freshman year, because I just kept working, I was able to go take an anatomy course over in our actual science department, and I got to take an online chemistry class through middle college actually over the summer just because I was getting ahead. And just some of those classes that our teachers aren't really accredited to do the dual credit courses, so we just have to go out to the other classes.
Okay. When you're in the middle college, then they have these materials set up for you to work with. Do you have much choice in what you do, or is it pretty laid out for you?
It depends on the class, but it's gotten better since last year. Last year we did Apex. Do you know what that program is? It's just an online program where you do this, 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 and this, which Apex has gotten a lot better with that too, because now they have pre-tests that just, like, you figure out what you already know by taking these pre-tests, and then they show you, hey, you mastered these, so you don't have to do them anymore. You just get to do the other things that you didn't know. And the teachers definitely are leaning towards standard-based more now, and I kind of hope it goes that way further even.
When you look at how teachers grade this, it sounds like you're still pretty much under a traditional grading system, the A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
But is the way they give you feedback, how do they help you know that you're going down the right path or doing the right kind of level of work?
It depends on the class. Like today, Mrs. Bach, our English teacher, was actually talking to my friends and I about one of the papers that they just finished. They'd been working on it for a while. So she just came over and she was like, you got to make sure to do this, 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 and this when you're finishing up a paper and let it sit for a day. It's just kind of more of a relaxed kind of feedback instead of like, you got an F on this paper, you need to come in for detention right now and finish it up and all that. It's just relaxed because the teachers just are able to, they're not just forced to lecture the whole time. They're able to form a connection with the kid instead of just looking at a book the whole time and trying to make notes work, you know?
Sure. When you look at this environment with a customized learning, how does that affect your relationship with a teacher? What does that look like?
I feel like I'm closer to the teacher because I'm able to ask deeper questions than what I'd be able to do in class. In a traditional classroom, you're not usually supposed to ask, now, what was this famous guy? What did he do with his horses or something like that? But here in middle college, if you're really interested into something like science or math, you can go deeper. You can do that, and you're kind of pushed to do it because you get interested, because you're pushing yourself to do more of what you like and learning how to like more things than what you originally thought you knew.
Do you find you view your teachers differently in this environment?
It's a little less formal, and I know I'm not supposed to be friends with my teachers, but I definitely feel like there's more of a friendship involved than the normal.
Do you feel that there's a more of a connection then?
Yeah,
between
definitely.
you and the teacher?
Definitely a bigger connection with my advisor. At the start of the year, all the new incoming freshmen get put into a group of one of the teachers as their main advisor, and that advisor sits down and writes an email with you. They plan out your classes, see how many credits you need per year, and they just help you with your entire high school career.
So you're looking at a bigger picture, it sounds like?
Definitely a really big picture, because right now, if I don't finish my classes, it screws up everything. So they're kind of pushing me while I'm pushing myself just to finish and keep going. So they're kind of a motivator other than myself, because, you can kind of fail yourself sometimes.
Talk about motivation. What is it that motivates you? Because it seems like it'd be real easy to just start slacking off and put things off.
Oh, you have no idea how easy that is. It happens. It will happen. You can't get away from that. It happens in a normal classroom. It happens in college. It happens in the workplace. You got to kind of accept that some days you can't get done what you need to get done. So you just kind of have to look. It really has made me think more about myself and learning about I'm a really, really bad motivator for myself, and I need to start checklists for myself. That's actually one of the main things I've had to do this year is to actually get they use planners in there, but I lose that so easy. So on my computer I've started using digital planners instead because it's just so much easier, and just checklists and all that. And I think your friends can be your worst enemy and your greatest motivator at the same time, because it's almost like a competition with some of my friends. I'm like, oh, they're ahead of me, I gotta get back up, gotta get back to where I need to be. But then if they start talking about something you like the new movie that's out, oh goodness, then you're off track for about a half an hour. But you just gotta remember, oh, I need to do this, otherwise I'm gonna be behind, and that's just I'm gonna have to come in after school, or it's just not gonna be as much fun as talking for that half hour was.
Mm-hmm. What have you learned about yourself and how you learn through all this?
I've been an independent learner for a long while, but it's actually made me learn that I do need to collaborate with people a bit more, because just working with yourself, you can just stare at a desk for an hour, 2 hours, and just be alone with music, but that doesn't help you at all. And just working with people on like algebra, pre-calculus, physical science, it helps you learn it and see how other people learn. And that's kind of helped me with learning different equations, is that I have to see how other people are viewing it to understand how I should view it.
Sure. Do you find for yourself, your collaboration with other students, is it more organized by you, or is it sometimes teacher directed in your work with other students? I don't know if they do this, but I suppose it could be teacher directed if they're like, hey, maybe we should start up a study group. But it's always just been me sitting with my friends. We kind of become a tight-knit group, just working through it together. Yeah. It's more by you
Yeah.
making that collaboration happen.
It's really nice. My friends and I are considering, since this year we're out of the middle college classrooms, taking a dual credit class for math. Next year we have to be back. Not like an obligation have to be, but like we're kind of excited because we can all work together and work through our homework together. So it won't be as difficult as it would be in the normal classroom.
Okay. Tell us about the depth. When you work on something, do you feel pressure to get through a volume of material, or do you feel that you have some flexibility to actually go into some more depth on certain topics?
Oh, I know I shouldn't, but I really go more in depth than I should, just because I get really interested. Like if I'm learning about Louis the 14th, I just want to learn more about that guy and know more about that guy. But there always is there's always going to be the volume portion that you have to kind of worry about, because you have to learn all the standards. But it's just, I have more freedom to do the in-depth work that I didn't have in the normal classroom, just because the volume was always there as well.
So, if you were to give advice to teachers who are wanting to go down this road, what advice would you give to teachers on what's the best way to customize?
I suppose it'd be to learn the kids, the environment, and I think standards-based learning would be really cool. Like, I understand that's a really hard thing to get to because there's just so much, I don't know the word for it, but there's just so much planning that you have to do with all the curriculum, and just, I can't even think about how much work that would be. But if, there was a time that teachers could just get together and say, hey, how do we plan this out to get it so kids can kind of figure out what kind of project they want to do, because just that freedom helps people motivate themselves. Like, I really don't like making iMovies. That's one of the banes of my existence in high school is iMovies. So if I could figure out a way to make a poster on the same topic, it would make me go faster. Well, that's not the way you want to do it, but it would make me go farther. It'd make me want to do it more if I could do it more my way, instead of just, this is the rubric, this is what you have to do, here, go.
Do you find for yourself that the content is motivating by itself, or do you need pressure from the teacher, this teacher pace idea to keep you where you need to be, or is it a combination? What keeps you from getting behind?
What really keeps me from getting behind is just the competition piece more than anything, competition with my peers, which is just friendly. And it really helps to know that there is a school deadline. Like, I have to be done by this quarter or I'm not passing this class. It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I have to be my own motivator.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what do your parents think about all this? Do they understand it? Do they not have a clue? I mean, where do they fall in understanding how this works, because it's different than what they did?
At the very beginning of middle college last year, they had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. I'm not even sure the teachers had any idea what was going on. Like, my classmates and I were going so fast through physical science, our teacher was like, I don't even have worksheets printed out for you guys. What am I going to do? So it was kind of a learning process together. Now that we have a new kind of campus for all of our grades and everything, my teachers are kind of, my parents are more like, oh yeah, I understand, but I still have to talk to them about it. And I know parents are parents. They're always going to be nervous no matter what. But I mean, if you never take the leap, you're never going to know what's going to happen with you.
I'm sure in the beginning they had concerns, but do they have fewer concerns now, or are they big supporters? Where do they fall in that?
They're big supporters. My sister's even coming into the program next year as a freshman, which she's a different person than I am, so it's definitely going to take some learning between the two of us to collaborate on assignments and just get to working, yeah.
Is there anything I should have asked you about with customized learning that we missed? I mean, is there something about it that's...
Man, I don't know.
If you were to try to tell other teachers about this, what is it that needs to be said?
I think there's really a big stigma against it because, I mean, teachers have all of this stuff. They have stuff that's already made, already been used. They've been using it for years and years. Like, something I just was working on today was from 1984. I think it just needs to be updated and done in a way that's not feeling like teachers are losing their jobs, because I feel like that's kind of a concern, because they're not standing up and lecturing anymore. It's new. New is kind of scary, but change happens. It's the future now, I suppose. And it's scary, but it's a good thing.
But the role of the teacher, in what way is it still important in all this?
Oh, it's still important, because if chemistry is one of the worst subjects for me. I just don't get it. But my science teacher needs to be there just to help me get through that and to teach me in ways that I wouldn't have taught myself. Because even though I still have the book, there still needs to be some human interaction in there. Online classes are awesome. Just reading out of a book is awesome. But I need someone there to guide me through it.
Yeah.
So the teachers aren't really teachers. They're more like guides and, what's the word they use? Facilitator?
Facilitators, yeah. What, through all of this, I bet you've had some ups and downs, but what would you say over the 2 years, what's been some of the highlights, or what's been most exciting for you through all this?
Most exciting is when you finish a class. When you get through that final test, you're just like, I know what I'm doing. That last test, when you just feel like, oh my goodness, I know what I'm doing. I know how to answer these questions. That's just a great feeling.
Technology-wise, what do you use here, and how does it work for you in helping you be self-directed?
We use MacBook Pros. I know that's switching over next year, which is going to kind of be hard because all of the stuff we use is Apex, and I know that doesn't really work well on iPads, but Apex and definitely online textbooks are a really big plus. Our tech office has digital downloads for textbooks, so when I'm on the road for a tennis meet or a debate where we don't have internet, I can just do my assignments on the road. I don't have to use the internet. And I definitely use a lot of online services, definitely just for my music, because that helps me from talking to a lot of different people. And I use different online note-takings. We use Bubble as one of them, just iMovie and all those.
Do you find with the technology, the teachers utilize it well, or are there things that the teachers could do better with the technology?
I feel like I don't learn as well on a computer. It really depends on the class. Because if it's a lot of reading, oh, I can just do that, fine. But if I really need to be taking notes and doing projects, I need to write it down and actually physically do it. Otherwise, it just doesn't stick. Reading's fine. Reading, you can do reading on a screen, on a wall, on a piece of paper in front of you. But writing things down is not the same as typing them.
Oh, interesting. Anything else, Ryan, that you...
So, thinking ahead towards college and, your career path and being a lifelong learner, how do you think this learning environment is beneficial in that way?
I've found a way to keep myself motivated to not, when things get hard, I'm not just going to drop everything and just be done. Nope, I'm done. I'm going to actually have a way to keep myself going. And I'm actually taking some college classes next year over at our technical school right across the street. And I know what I've been doing here in middle college is going to help me learn better and learn farther into the material than just taking it at face value.
And would you ever want to go back to a traditional?
That depends on the class. For me, learning in math is a lot easier with a lecture just because then I can see how they're doing it. But that's really nice because one of the online things that we have through our online textbooks, there's videos of a guy lecturing, which kind of sucks for the teachers, I know. But it's just something that I really need personally. But I love middle college for almost all my classes. It's just so fun to be able to do more than just doing the bare minimum.